Welcome back to This is Baseball postseason edition. Well, wildcard series is over. There was no need for any game threes. All winners of their wildcard series swept their respective opponents in two games, and now we have to wait until Saturday for the ALDS and the NLDS to begin. I will say that the fact that none of these four series went to a game three is a little bit disappointing and probably not something that MLB wants to happen on a regular basis. I get if two of them sweep, but I think the fact that all four were sweeps is a little bit of a bad look for the league. And it wasn't like the sixth wildcard spot, or excuse me, the sixth playoff spot in each league just got destroyed. In fact, the only home teams to win their playoff series, the only division winner to win its playoff series, was the Minnesota Twins over the Toronto Blue Jays. Minnesota, and I say Minnesota, but all four winners, Minnesota, Philly at home over the Marlins, Arizona over the Brewers, and then Texas over the Rays. None of these four series were even really all that exciting. There was not a lot of tension, not a lot of drama in any of the games. Like, they were pretty much won comfortably for the most part, outside of Arizona making a little bit of a comeback in that game one against Milwaukee. But you look at it wasn't close. It was kind of one of those things where, like, okay, I feel good. You're late in these games and you're like, all right, I feel good that Texas is going to win this game. If they're going to blow a 7-run lead, then they don't deserve to be here anyway. But that's kind of what happened. Texas just dominated Tampa from a pitching standpoint. Tampa couldn't play defense. Tampa's fans didn't show up. I don't want to throw strays at their fans, but this is the playoffs, and you got 19,000 people in your stands in game one. That's just, come on, guys. But again, all the other series just, it felt like the pitching was on point, and yeah, all the winners made quick work of their opponents. So not ideal. Again, you would have liked to have seen some game threes just for the sake of the postseason drama. But now you get set up for some fun series. You get Philadelphia heading back to Atlanta to have a rematch of last year's NLDS, where Philadelphia beat Atlanta. Obviously, Philadelphia went on to beat the Padres and then lose to the Astros in the World Series. So Philadelphia kind of has some unfinished business. And Atlanta, who probably should win the World Series this season, are looking for some revenge on the Philadelphia Phillies. So I think that matchup is going to be incredibly fun. I hope that we get to see all 5 games and that it's just back and forth all series long. That's going to be a lot of fun. Again, that begins on Saturday, as well as all the other matchups. The Dodgers will be taking on the Diamondbacks. I like the Dodgers in this series. These are obviously, just like the Phillies and Braves, two opponents that are very familiar with each other. They're in the same division as each other, so they're going to know each other. So I think this one will also just be very tight. And I don't know. I like the Dodgers in this one, though. I think this one will probably go 4 games. Arizona will get 1, probably at home. But the Dodgers will take care of business. And that's the NLDS. I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be Dodgers and Braves in the NLCS. 2 best teams, 2 best records in the National League. And then on the American League side, Texas is going over to Baltimore. Baltimore 101 wins this season. Kind of the surprise team. They're the 1 seed in the American League, and they were awaiting the winner of Texas and Tampa Bay. Now Texas is here. Texas was kind of a team that wasn't playing great baseball down the stretch, so they're fortunate to even be here anyway. But if they can have pitching performances like they had the other day from Jordan Montgomery and A.D. Eovaldi, then, they could possibly make some quick work of Baltimore and propel themselves into the NLCS. But Baltimore, a team that a pleasant surprise this season, has a lot to prove. They got a really young roster, but they have a lot of talent on the roster. So I don't expect them to fold in the postseason. Maybe you'll see some nerves in game 1 from them, but they're here, and it'd be fun to see Baltimore make a run in the postseason. On the other side of the American League things, you have Houston, who ended up winning the AL West on the last day of the season because Texas got shut down by Seattle and lost 1-0. All Texas had to do to win their division and be sitting in Houston's spot is win 1 game. All they had to do was win, and they couldn't do it. But so Houston is the beneficiary of Texas not being able to take care of business, but also showing you how important it is to win your division, because you are the 2 seed. Tampa, who won 99 games, didn't win their division because Baltimore won 101. Houston won their division, so they get to skip the wild card series and await the winner of that in the division series. So Houston is going to take on the Minnesota Twins, and Minnesota won their first playoff game, let alone series, in 19 years. It had been 19 years since Minnesota had won a playoff game. And it's good for them. They didn't have to play the Yankees. It seems like they would always get matched up against the Yankees, and the Yankees would just beat them. But they played a Toronto team. And again, just dominant pitching performances all around for these winners. And again, you got a Houston team that didn't have a great season by their standards, but they won 90 games, and they're the defending World Series champions, so they're looking to go back-to-back. So Minnesota's not going to have an easy task. So going to be a fun matchup. I don't know if Minnesota's going to be able to hang with Houston. I have Houston winning this one. I think I have Houston and Baltimore matching up in the ALCS, which could be very fun. Last time the Baltimore Orioles were in the ALCS, they got swept by the Kansas City Royals in 2014. I just felt the need to slip that in there, but this is obviously a completely different team than then, and a team that seems to be better and equipped to win a championship. But that's kind of everything that you need to know to get you ready for the division series coming up starting on Saturday. So we'll see you next week after that series wraps up to recap the division series and look ahead to the championship series. Man, once the postseason gets here, it moves really quick. Thank you for listening. See you next time.